The year 1939 marked the beginning of a global conflict that would forever change history. World War II began with the German invasion of Poland. The Axis powers were led by Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Allies were spearheaded by Great Britain, the United States, and the Soviet Union. German forces swiftly conquered much of Europe with blitzkrieg tactics. Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor brought the United States into the war. The conflict escalated, its shadow stretching across the globe. The Eastern Front was the scene of some of the most brutal fighting in World War II. The German Wehrmacht and the Soviet Red Army clashed in a titanic struggle. The Battle of Stalingrad epitomized the ferocity and brutality of the fighting.
German forces laid siege to Stalingrad in the summer of 1942. The battle was a horrifying ordeal of urban warfare. In February 1943, the German Sixth Army surrendered.
While the Battle of Stalingrad raged in the east, the war in North Africa saw back-and-forth battles between the Axis and Allied forces. The vast deserts of North Africa became a testing ground for tanks and aircraft.
General Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, was renowned for his tactical brilliance. The Allies, led by generals like Bernard Montgomery, gradually pushed back the Axis forces.
The Allied victory in North Africa in May 1943 was a significant turning point. It paved the way for the Allied invasion of Italy in July 1943. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces launched Operation Overlord, the largest amphibious invasion in history. Codenamed D-Day, the invasion targeted the beaches of Normandy, France. The invasion force faced fierce resistance from the German defenders.
The fighting on the beaches of Normandy was chaotic and bloody. Allied troops fought their way ashore with courage and determination. Despite heavy losses, the Allies secured a foothold in France. The D-Day landings marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi occupation.
Section 5. The Pacific Theater Island Hopping and Atomic Fury. While the war raged in Europe, another equally brutal conflict was being fought in the Pacific. Following their surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Japan had embarked on a series of conquests, seizing territories in Southeast Asia and the Pacific.
The United States, caught off guard by the Japanese attack, was initially on the defensive.
The Pacific War was characterized by its unique challenges. The vast distances, tropical climate, and dense jungle terrain made for grueling conditions for the combatants. The war in the Pacific was also marked by its ferocity, with both sides engaging in brutal hand-to-hand combat. The Japanese, indoctrinated with a warrior code that emphasized death over surrender, fought with fanatical determination.
The United States, under the leadership of Admiral Chester Nimitz and General Douglas MacArthur, adopted a strategy of island hopping, gradually pushing back the Japanese by capturing key islands in the Pacific.
The battles for islands such as Iwo Jima and Okinawa were some of the bloodiest of the war, with heavy casualties on both sides. Section 6. Stories from the Home Front, Resilience and Sacrifice. While the fighting raged on distant battlefields, the war also had a profound impact on the lives of civilians. On both sides of the conflict, men, women, and children found their lives upended by the war effort. Rationing, air raids, and the constant fear of invasion became part of everyday life.
On the home front, women played a vital role in the war effort. With millions of men away fighting, women took on jobs traditionally held by men, working in factories, shipyards, and other essential industries. They also contributed to the war effort by volunteering their time, rationing food and supplies, and supporting the troops.
The war also had a profound impact on children. Many children were separated from their families, evacuated from cities to the countryside to escape bombing raids. Schools were closed, and children often had to contribute to the war effort by collecting scrap metal, growing vegetables, and performing other tasks. Section 7. Leadership and Decision-Making, Shaping the Course of History. World War II was a conflict shaped by the decisions of powerful leaders.
On the Axis side, Adolf Hitler's megalomania and ruthless ambition drove Germany's aggression. His decisions, often driven by ideology and a warped sense of reality, led to countless deaths and untold suffering.
On the Allied side, leaders such as Winston Churchill, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and Joseph Stalin faced the daunting task of mobilizing their nations for total war. Churchill, with his unwavering resolve and stirring speeches, rallied the British people during their darkest hour. Roosevelt, despite facing opposition at home, provided crucial Lend-Lease aid to Great Britain and the Soviet Union. Stalin, though a ruthless dictator, led the Soviet Union to victory against all odds.
The decisions made by these leaders, both strategic and political, had a profound impact on the course of the war. From the decision to declare war to the allocation of resources, from the choice of battlefields to the negotiations with allies and enemies, their actions determined the fate of millions.
Section 8. The war's end and its aftermath. A new world order. After 6 long years of conflict, World War II finally came to an end in 1945. Germany, defeated and occupied, surrendered to the Allies in May 1945. Japan, facing imminent invasion and the devastation of atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, surrendered in August 1945. The world, weary from years of war, breathed a collective sigh of relief. The war's end ushered in a new era, one marked by both hope and uncertainty. The world lay in ruins, millions dead, economies shattered, and societies scarred by the horrors of war. Yet, amidst the devastation, there was also a sense of hope, a belief that a better world could be built from the ashes of the old. The war had reshaped the global order. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the world's two superpowers, their rivalry shaping the decades that followed. The United Nations was formed in 1945 with the goal of preventing future wars and promoting international cooperation. Section 9. The Enduring Legacy Lessons from the Ashes. World War II, despite its horrors, left an enduring legacy on the world. The war led to countless technological advancements, from radar and jet engines to computers and nuclear weapons. It also spurred social and political changes, as women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, and colonial empires began to crumble. Perhaps the most important legacy of World War II is the lessons it taught us about the human capacity for both good and evil. The war showed us the depths of depravity to which humanity could sink, but it also revealed the heights of courage, compassion, and resilience of which humans are capable. The war also highlighted the importance of international cooperation and the need to stand up against tyranny and oppression. The Holocaust, a horrific genocide that claimed the lives of 6 million Jews, served as a stark reminder of the dangers of intolerance and hatred. Section 10. Conclusion. Remembering the past, shaping the future. World War II was a watershed moment in human history, a conflict that shaped the world we live in today. It was a war fought on a global scale, a war that claimed the lives of millions and left an indelible mark on countless more. As we remember the sacrifices of those who fought and died in that conflict, we must also strive to learn from the mistakes of the past. The lessons of World War II are as relevant today as they were decades ago. The need for international cooperation, the importance of standing up for human rights, and the dangers of intolerance and extremism are all issues that continue to challenge us today. By remembering the past and learning from its lessons, we can work towards a future where the horrors of World War II are never repeated.